Hi, and welcome once again to What's the Damage, companion show to the incredibly well-known and popular real play D&D show Roll for Damage. This episode is dedicated to the memory of our fallen comrades, and also sponsored by Kleenex. Kleenex, dry your tears. So our heroes had a pretty intense game last Friday. They were rewarded for completing the Emperor's Ghost puzzle, then went to go play Dune in the desert. Unfortunately, much like Dune, it got a lot more intense than was initially expected. A couple of people got eaten by worms. One of them was really eaten by worms, which you all know already if you watched the episode, which I assume you have if you're watching this. Anyway, having failed to get to Dobby in time, the Shields of Twilight had to fish his half-digested corpse out of a worm's stomach. And me and my guests will be sticking our fingers in that fresh wound right now. As always, stick around after the stream for links and resources. We got a new one for people affected by the massive and terrible fires, which are making me and everyone else on the West Coast cough. Yeah, fun times. I'm your host, Truth Venson. This is What's the Damage? Welcome back. Joining me today are some familiar faces, all of whom had very emotional episodes. We've got, of course, Jay, who plays the recently deceased Dobby. Hi, Jay. Sorry for your loss. We've got Laura, who plays the newly magical and defamed Peregrine. And we've got Chad, who plays the very emotionally distressed Quinn.
Yay, I'm sad.
Yay, we're all sad.
Yeah.
So I think I know what the damage is this time. How are you guys
Yes.
feeling?
I mean, it's not really a question this time.
Cool. So specifically, Jay, how are you? You okay? Do you need some support?
I'm good, you know. Like it's not like
You
I
need
poured
your
my,
friends in these trying times.
it's not like I poured my heart and soul into Dobby. And I tried to do my best. I didn't do no shenanigans whatsoever. Okay, I'm getting dragged into this situation. Okay, Dobby's just trying to protect the people.
Oh God,
Okay?
he's possessed.
You know, the bow breaks, so then he's got to go in slashing. Okay, and then he gets 8. Somebody's got 15 AC. Okay, and there's not enough money to get braces and protection. Okay.
Wow.
My God.
I mean, none of that was inaccurate.
No, none of it was. I'm still surprised that Quinn isn't the one that ended up dying, because my armor was sitting
Like,
in a
not on.
pile.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
My AC, yes,
unarmored.
Quinn's Dex modifier is a big old 0.
Yeah. So I
I
was
had like a wizard's level of AC. And I was like very close to one of those things
you
for
know,
a very uncomfortable amount of time.
Sometimes.
Look,
Yeah,
Perry tried her best, okay?
wasn't good enough. No.
She's well aware. Why do you think she got all emotional and then sprouted fangs?
And useless claws. Don't forget the useless claws.
Useless claws.
Wonderful. Okay, so before we really dig into these lovely festering wounds, let's the party venturing back into the desert. Let's go back a little ways before the worm fight. So obviously, the party knew they were going into a harsh and dangerous environment, one which had not been historically kind to you. You've had some trouble out in the sandy wastes before. Did your characters feel more prepared this time comparatively to the last couple times?
Maybe a little,
I mean,
but clearly not enough.
Clearly.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, maybe slightly because we were there once before. We're like, okay, so we've seen these things. We've seen these things. And, try not to get the same mentality of, Wesley and Buttercup when they figure out the fire swamp. Because just when you think you do, that's when the rodents of unusual size attack. And instead of rodents, we got worms of unusual size.
Yeah, it's very Dune.
Yeah.
Tell me about the worm fight pre-tragic demise.
I thought it was going well. We killed one.
You sure did.
And I was like, oh shit, yeah, we can do it. We could survive. Okay, cool. Where's the next one? And then instead of all of us focusing on the next one, we immediately split between two. And yeah, that was a bad plan. That was a very bad plan.
Serenity's nodding in the background.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
So
There you go.
I feel as though we were doing okay until that one we hadn't seen yet that was untouched appeared. Because I was like, no, we're doing good.
And then all of a sudden, look, another one.
Like I'm scoring a lot of biting and slashing hits here. We're good. We're doing okay. Oh, that one ran away. Well, we're not chasing worms. We're not that dumb. You haven't seen me yet, bitch. I'm going to eat Dobby.
Surprise.
Yes.
I mean, I chased one because if I didn't, then this would be the first what's the damage with 4 people because Baltine would probably also be dead.
Yes.
And then we would have also had emotional trauma, you and I. So this would be a very crowded episode.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have had to design a whole new layout just because of that encounter.
Yeah.
We also get canceled for killing our black characters.
I mean, yeah, actually.
Sorry, Jay. I know you're in a lot of pain right now.
Why? No, I'm joking. We're good. My next character is gonna be even sicker. Okay, even worse. You thought Dobby was crazy? Okay, wait till you see the next motherfucker that comes on the screen.
Please no.
Yeah, no.
Please make a reasonable, insane person if Dobby can't come back. I know I'm asking for the impossible because it's you, Jay.
No, there's gotta be consequences. You took Dobby for granted. Now, you get Robbie.
His brother,
who's just insane.
Yeah. You think Dobby's bad?
Yeah, you think Dobby's bad. Wait till you get Robbie. Yeah.
Is it Robsworth Ponds?
Robsworth.
We live in fear.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so I have to ask, because I was watching that fight live, which I'm glad because I don't always get a chance to watch live. Did you guys realize after Dobby went unconscious that he only had one more round to live? Because I was resisting typing something in the chat. I was like, okay, don't backseat drive, don't backseat drive.
Yeah, for reasons that we will not explain, but I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
So Laura was panicking. And of course, Perry just assumes if something has been eaten, it's not going to survive very long. But me personally, I knew, and it was bad.
I mean, yeah, for the same reasons that we shall not speak of at this time, I also was aware of the issue, but then I was also aware that, oh, look, there goes the worm that is now apparently in Baltaim's Uber. I must go get this worm because nobody else is going to do it. And I'm the only motherfucker with range that's not currently a bear, or Oriana, who definitely would not make the jump down the hole play. I would I don't see her doing that. Like, it's so full of dirt. I don't think.
It's sand.
No.
It's
I
Bye.
don't want to. Yeah.
It was nice knowing you. I will tell your story badly.
Oh, dude, I'm done.
Oh, Jake is not here to defend himself.
I know, that's why it's fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know.
Amazing. You know what? God damn, Jake. I believe in Oriana. I believe she would get maybe 1 foot dirty to save her friend.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah, she would just stick 1 foot in the. Oh no, my Louis Vuittons, and then just run away.
oh no, my pretty princess dress is dirty now. There's sand in my petticoat. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I have to go home.
I mean,
I need to go home and change.
I mean, to who she was sending that message to. I mean, hey.
Her next sending is. All my clothes are filthy. Help!
Can you come pick me up? It's not anymore.
This sleepover's lame.
Oh man.
I like how we actually have important shit to talk about, and we're just doing like a tight 10, doing nothing but dump on Oriana.
We're avoiding the subject.
So good. It's so
We don't want to talk about it because we're still all afraid of Friday.
Cool beans. Yeah, so Jay, were you aware that you were super gonna die if no one cut you out before your next turn? What was that like?
I mean, yeah, I already knew. I mean, I already had that first damage for that acid when I got landed in that stomach, because it was an instant hit. It was over. Okay, and then I had to roll for the second roll, and it was bad. And I was like, oh, really? I was already 2 in. You know, I was like, please, someone help me. Someone please help me internally. And then when it came to my turn, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe it was just the first time for the acid damage. Maybe I could save for this time. It was an 11. Okay, cool. And then she was like, oh, what's your last words? I was like, oh, fuck. You can see my face if you do a playback. It's like, so we don't know. I rolled, that's an 11. That's not a 10. Jay can count. Okay.
Jano math.
Jay plays with Click Clack Math Racks. He's fine.
Exactly. You know. And then she was like, "No, you take the acid damage again." I was like, "Oh shit." Okay.
No.
You know.
Wow.
And then I totally blanked out because I was not ready for this. You know. I was not. You know. Dobby was beating the odds, and it's not fair that he should have died because of his own stupidity. Okay. That's how he needed to go out.
He wanted to.
You know, getting shanked in the face because he was trying to pickpocket somebody. That's how it should have been done.
Or waking up in the street with no kidneys because he fell asleep on the street again.
No, I'm dead in the desert. What's in a desert? Just sand and rocks. I don't want to be buried in no motherfucking desert. Okay, that's the last thing he wants. Okay, God, man. But yeah,
Poor Dobby.
Poor Dobby.
Dobby, good fuck, man.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I do so love your rants, Jay.
As do I.
Just the good stuff. So what was it like for Quinn and Perry to see your weirdest friend just half dissolved?
Horrifying?
That is a good answer. I will steal my wife's answer.
I mean, it was one of those things where like she felt this way when Cynric died, that like she just wasn't good enough and strong enough to stop it before it happened. So once again, she feels as though she has failed her friends. And this now coupled with the knowledge that apparently her people deserve to be punished. Um, she's just reeling.
Yeah, actually, Quinn's about in the same place because it hits a little bit harder for him on this because literally every time something has come up like this, he has been not yet strong enough to do anything about it. Like even, like dating back all the way to the start of his backstory, it's like he couldn't do anything about what happened with his family. He was not strong enough yet to do anything about Cynric when he went down. He is not strong enough to do what's required to do with his to solve things. And he also was not strong enough, even though he had the thing he would have needed to fix Cynric finally. That was not good enough to save Dobby. So it's every single time he keeps like coming up short and coming up short and coming up short. And this is not a good feeling for him, especially because then the entire party decided it was his job to decide, okay, do we fix Dobby or just leave him in a hole and walk away?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's fair to say the whole party.
Okay, everybody but you, and also Dobby because he was dead.
And no.
Due to being
Oriana
dead,
also
Dobby
did
have an
not
opinion.
plan to put him in the hole. That was like solely Baldaim and Cynric's idea.
That is true. But like the majority, okay, well, you need to decide because you have this magical MacGuffin that can fix everything. Like, yeah, I know it can fix everything. I have a specific thing I'd like it to fix, and I don't know what it does yet. So I want to keep it for longer than 5 minutes since I'm never getting this back.
I mean, you can always go rob the Emperor, It'd be a very Dobby thing to do. In his memory.
What? It would. Well, hold on. We need to, Dobby. Would that be considered going full Dobby? Is just try to break into the Oasis and steal more water?
Yes.
Okay. I had to get approval from the authority.
Yeah, no, that's Dobby, full Dobby times 2, dude. Most because the Emperor is scary. And second, like where the fuck is the magic fountain? Like who's guarding that shit, man?
I think the Emperor specifically and that giant armored dude that hangs up behind him. That
exactly, man.
Yeah.
You're saying it's a dude. We don't even know that it's a dude.
I know. I'm being hopeful that there's a person in there. Not like the physical embodiment of a deity.
What's inside the armor? That's $1 million
Nothing
question.
but sunshine.
Exactly, man. He's like, you dare steal from me?
The light of the Dawn Father. That's what's in the armor. Just
get fucking.
There's spoilers. There's spoilers. You might find that out later.
Fucking yeeted, across the.
I mean, that's my
material
guess.
plane,
It's basically the light of the Dawn Father. I am not going to risk that.
Aww. It'd be so fun. Also, I do want to follow up with Perry's revelation. Like, so does she actually now believe that her people deserve to be punished, or how's her mind in that after finding out what she found out?
Fucking disaster. She doesn't know what to believe. She has no reason to think that the Emperor would not be telling the truth. She also knows that he is ancient enough to have been alive when her people were one people before the split of the tribes. So she believes that he might know something. And she certainly wasn't suspicious enough to, wise as fuck as she is inside him. But so part of her is starting to internalize this idea that maybe it is their fault. Especially every time she's not strong enough or good enough to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because for her, it's like, well, I'm not strong enough. And my people decided they weren't strong enough and they hid. They were gone when the world needed them. And I'm failing to be there when my friends need me. So for her, that's like really terrifying, especially because her people, or what she's been told, is her people believe that this is Melora's punishment. But apparently it's not. And that in and of itself terrifies her a little.
It could be both.
I mean, to every, story, there are two sides. And, we know pieces, not the entire puzzle.
Well, I leave great gaping holes in my bio for Serenity to fill with trauma, and she does a really good job of it.
She
fills it with
thrives.
trauma and napalm.
She thrives on it.
And apparently useless fangs.
Yeah.
And useless claws. You keep saying one and leaving out the other. Whatever one it is, you think, and useless fangs. And not claws. And useless claws. And the fang. They're both useless. Equally useless.
This is true.
They're both equally garbage things that are now a part of
good
you.
things happen. She didn't need to sleep while we were solving those problems in the thing, but I mean, she really wishes that it had made her smarter instead.
Yay. So Perry's very prone to guilt, it seems like.
Suddenly she is. She wasn't. And then just shit started going pear-shaped all the time in clutch moments. She doesn't know how to handle that.
Perry. Poor Perry. And poor Quinn, too. It was a very emotional episode for Quinn, who was faced with a very, 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 very hard question for which there wasn't really a right answer.
Yeah, no, there was not. It was unpleasant. I mean, it was. I'm trying to think the best way to come at this whole thing because, it was very difficult having a bunch of people say, okay, well, I mean, you have that thing you just got that could fix everything. That you probably could just use that, and then Dobby just jumps back up, not a skinless and probably limbless torso of horrors, and everything's fine again. And then Quinn's just having to sit there thinking, oh yeah, no, that would solve that problem. But what other problems does that create? Because I'm supposed to go someplace that literally I cannot go because if I do, I will die, seeing as how Quinn was a half-elf and not an Aasimar. And just he's weighing everything, like he can't weigh which one's more important. Like he literally cannot decide if his family and his people are more important or if the friend he just lost is more important. Like he can't weigh those things out. Like instead of putting them on a scale and figure out which one's heavier, his reaction was just to try to smash the fucking scale and curse the universe for making him make that choice.
Hey, sometimes that's the right approach. So, sort of on these notes, both your characters have had bits of conflict with Dobby in the past. Obviously, he's your most chaotic friend.
Yes.
But do your characters consider him solidly their friend?
I think after the Perry and Dobby buddy cop episode in which Perry pretended to be the butcher.
That's great.
I think that Perry has really realized that Dobby is his own kind of crazy, but he's still her friend.
Mm-hmm.
There was a sort of bonding there where they had to trust each other. And that was the first time that she'd ever actually trusted him. Because what choice did she have? And I think that really bonded her to him a little bit. And so she now sees him as much a friend and ally as she does anyone else.
Yeah, I think as far as Quinn, to him, Dobby is... there are a lot of different kinds of friends. There's the friend that you call when you need help moving something, because they will show up and they will help you and they will then leave when they are done. And then there's the friend where if you call them to help you move, they will show up 3 hours later and
with beer.
Maybe they will probably bring tequila and then not actually help you move. They, in fact, will just drink said beverage on whatever item it is that you're supposed to be moving. But then eventually they will just, text a couple of random people they know, and all of a sudden 2 pro wrestler-sized dudes show up at your door and lift the thing out for you, and you have a weird story to tell later. That's the kind of friend Dobby is. The random chaos friend that you cannot necessarily count on all the time. But if it's important, he will show up.
He's the one you call when you need to bury a body.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, he's got a
Everyone
shovel and he
needs a
knows some
chaos
good
friend.
spots.
You know, exactly. You know.
You need your chaos friend just as
Yes.
much as you need your reliable friend.
Yes. So that's about what it is that Quinn is thinking of him. He is the strange, chaotic friend that will be there if he's absolutely necessary, and has tried to be there for others before. So it feels like he at least owes it to him to try to not yeet him at the nearest wall hard as he can.
What a touching eulogy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dobby.
Oh,
I
Dobby.
wanted to throw you into a lake of acid, but I didn't because I couldn't find a lake of acid.
I mean, you got the next best thing, didn't you?
Yeah, but I didn't throw him into it, so there's a difference.
Yeah, plus there's that little leftover bit. Like now I have to deal with it. Like like God, why couldn't you just dissolve fully? You know?
Yeah.
Tiny half melted corpse.
Yep. The half-melted corpse of Dobby
Half
Pons.
melted corpse, dude.
Now, hold on. Is it half melted or half not melted?
No, it's clearly half melted. Okay.
Pessimist.
Okay, well, excuse me. Okay, you're not the one who's the half melted individual. Okay. I can be the pessimist if I want to. Okay? Fuck off. Oh, man. Oh, snap.
Amazing. So this is the second time one of your party has been not just down, but down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dangerous world out there for adventurers.
Yeah, it's funny that it's the two people that know each other best that are ones that have died. So
they've died, you know? Like maybe, like you really think about it, maybe there's someone out there who has it out for these individuals, like.
And they sent sandworms after you specifically?
Yeah.
Is this Dobby being paranoid, or is this Jay being a conspiracy theory nut?
I don't know,
Both.
Serenity. Can you answer me? What's
if
going
she does,
on?
no one can hear her except us, so it won't matter what she says.
You got it out.
She could be making fart noises right now, and the audience would have no idea.
She's not. She's ignoring us.
You're my fault.
I mean, that's true.
Hey.
Like, to Dobby's credit, he didn't fuck up and get eaten. He just got eaten.
Yeah. Dude. I was so surprised.
Yeah, he got eaten. Quinn, who wanted to stay up there and try and help, realized that someone had to jump down the hole and go after Baltaim first. Thought, there's enough people up here. I'm sure they can handle it, but no one else is going after Ball.
I'm sure Dobby's just stabbing it from the inside. He's gonna cut out
you
the belt.
might have been. Who knows?
That would.
But also, the others were like, they were all there. All of them were up there and could have, done a thing.
I kept hoping Cynric was going to turn around and start stabbing it. Like, because he was hitting so hard. It was like, surely Cynric will turn around and he will start attacking this thing, and we will get it open before Dobby dies.
But then you gotta think like Cynric. Oh, he's raging right now. Like he's focused on one thing. He saw Baltaim get swallowed. He's juggling things, man. He's juggling things.
And he calls Dobby old.
Okay. Man. It's not like I blame you or anything. Like you could have magical waters that could save my life, but it's cool. You clearly choose your family over me, and that's fine. I'm not gonna be vindictive at all. Okay?
I feel like Dobby will be vindictive, and then I will get to test out that magical new Thor hammer that Quinn has.
It's just like
all right, and yeet.
Oh, man.
And now Dobby's dead again.
He comes back with 1 hit point, and well, fuck you then. Bam! I regret nothing.
Oh, man.
But there's hope yet for Dobby, because you guys did end up turning to an NPC who seemed pretty confident that there was something she could do, and it wasn't Liz for once.
Lex,
sorry.
Yeah, because Lex would have just laughed, and it would be like,
well, Perry was convinced that Lex would not help. She'd be like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah. So the little bastard's dead.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
we're probably still going to get the y'all are stupid from the next one that shows up, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but
to be
Aaron's
fair, it
a
will
little
be
nicer.
it will be deserved.
God, we owe so many debts to everybody, dude.
I mean, at least it's to people that
That's his
are
life.
probably going to ask us to do something that's not murder, or at least not unjustified murder.
We're just racking up side quests. Like they're just
Mhm.
going up in the quest table, but you're not seeing them yet.
You know.
It's like when you play Dragon Age or any similar game. You know, you go around, you get all the side quests. You don't even touch the main quest. You just get all of the side quests, then start blowing through those as much as you can. Like, I'm out of side quests now. Time to get back to the main job. That's what we're doing. We're getting a bunch of side quests to do as soon as we finish this one story mission.
I mean, you'll never be bored.
This is true, and maybe we will get money that we don't immediately waste on stuff.
Maybe.
Maybe, probably not. I'm being optimistic unfoundedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, so Jay, I know you're spinning up a new character because you were just rolling for it right before we started streaming.
Yes.
Without spoilers, can you give us some vibe of how this character might be if we end up seeing them?
Oh no.
One word.
However many. No more than 5.
Okay. I'd say
That's 2 already.
We're counting. This is a casting of sending. It's an extremely limited one.
I can't count, guys.
We've
I'd say
noticed.
Mandalorian, but that is cool.
Wow, fuck Dobby. I want to see this guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
wow.
I'd like to say that, you know, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we're gonna move on to our topic for the day, which is multi-classing, which I'm super excited about. I know Jay is known as a somewhat unprincipled and villainous multi-classer.
Yeah, you have so much to
Yo,
answer for.
what's optimization? What's min-maxing when you can just do stupid things?
Right.
And forget
the
what your
stupid
classes
things.
do.
Yeah, forget your abilities because you have too many.
Exactly.
You know, very important ones that might keep your allies alive while they're doing saves. I don't
After being
know.
turned to stone, you son of a bitch.
And you know, I regret nothing.
I know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, listen to me. I'm the master of you know, multi-classing and having fun with it, you know?
Yeah, and see, that's the reason that, like, because, you know, we were supposed to do this topic ages ago, but I kept on saying, we can't do this unless Jay can be there, because,
Yeah, no,
Jay,
definitely.
you make these characters that are, like, logistically, as far as being able to play them, they're fucking dumpster fire nightmares, but narratively, they are just this intricate, layered narrative delight that is just interesting to dig into until you have to be in combat with them and you're like, God damn it, Jay, remember your fucking ability.
Sometimes. So you've all multi-classed before, right?
Oh yeah.
Once.
I currently am. Not in this game, but elsewhere.
Oh, right. I think you told me about that
Yes, I did.
during one of our back chats. So I guess my first question for everyone is, how do you pick your classes to mix up? I assume Jay just like rolls dice and picks whatever.
See, I personally think of a cool concept, right? You know, because okay, so one of my characters, I based them off like French kind of revolution executioners. You know, got the rounded executioning sword. I know I just made that word up.
Executioning.
Exactly.
We'll allow it.
Soon in the store, the J Dictionary. Coming to our merch link.
We can't even make that though, because there's
too
too
many
much
words. There's too many
nonsense words.
That's
but
why
yeah,
it's a
you know.
dictionary.
And so I was like, oh, what would be cool? A death cleric, right? But death clerics don't really like use like swords. but it can't just be a regular rinky. I can't do sword and board. No, I'm going full great sword in this bitch, man. Gotta commit, okay? But I'm kind of lacklustering on the attack abilities, So let's get two levels of fighter in there. It's kind of a jumbled mess. It's not
Yep.
really optimized, but you know what? The character is very compelling because one thing, it is the player and how dedicated you are to playing that character. Okay, you got to go full in, and then the DM for accepting that bullshit. Because I give Chad so many headaches in that game, but he keeps going with it.
I mean, you people have
It's a
no
very
fucking
tolerant
idea.
DM.
Well, here's the thing, just to show you how committed he is, because to pull back the whole thing, because we're playing Curse of Strahd for fun, and
We talk about it a lot, so you all know.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, because you haven't watched this until now, what the fuck is this? Your first episode? I mean, what is wrong with you? Get your life
it's a good
together.
one. It's a good one.
Yes,
True.
but still.
Yeah, come on, Watcher.
We
Watch from the
support you.
beginning. You're not a real fan.
No, why
Continuity is important, guys.
It's not. I'm the host. I say continuity is bullshit. Anyway,
Okay,
go on,
fine.
Chad.
But anyway, his character started off being soulless,
Ugh.
which is a fact that I didn't actually know until we were midway through the first game, because Jay didn't fucking tell me that until he just started talking like a robot, and I'm like, "Do you have a soul?" Like, no, man. Like, the shit. So
I wanted you to guess.
Your backstory, Jay?
I wanted you to guess so hard because it wasn't even my backstory at all.
It was not.
And it was just how I was playing it, and all the characters like, yo, who the fuck is this asshole speaking like he? What the fuck is going on?
I guessed. I asked Chad. I was like, "Am I missing something? Did somebody mention that he's soulless? Because he seems pretty damn soulless."
Yeah, I was like,
and Chad was like, "I don't fucking know," and I was like, "Of course you don't. It's Jay's character."
Yeah, and then.
But anyway, like, I talked to everyone like because of something else he had with his backstory. I saw an opportunity to do something interesting. That he could literally get his soul, and I'm like, "Would you want to do that?" And he said, "Yeah," because Jay is really good at yes-anding ideas, no matter how crazy they are. That's what makes him interesting. And then
that's a word for it.
Yes,
yes.
I let him get his character his soul, and then I put the option on the table since I saw he was dipping into fighter to be more, combative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I put the option out there. Okay, since when you made the choice of committing to the clerical lifestyle, you did not have a soul. I put the option of, do you want to be a paladin instead? And you can retool shit if you want to, because you're going through a fundamental change of who you are. He's like, nah, man, I'm committed to this idea of like, okay, dude. Like, I respect
sort of how it
your
goes.
choice and your dedication.
Yeah, he gave me the out. He was like, oh man, we could start this over, man. You and me, Jay. And I'm like, nah, man.
He's like, let me help you. And you're like, no.
In too deep. Okay.
I see him drowning. I throw him a life preserver. He throws back like never.
Or, he stabs it so it deflates and it's now useless. But I feel like that's what it
flicking
is.
him
It's
off
not
while
just
I'm
he
drowning,
gives it back.
Exactly.
He just destroys it so no one else can use it either.
So good.
That's entirely what he does.
Awesome.
But it's great. I will say Jay's commitment to whatever the fuck crazy thing he's going to do. If he says he's going to do it, it's going to happen. And it's guaranteed to make you laugh.
And that's the main thing with multi-classic. It doesn't need to make sense, but you just need to commit. Okay? Until it no longer hurts. And then you laugh.
You play through the pain.
You play through the pain. Oh, man.
So did Chad and Laura want to talk about multi-classing?
Yes.
With your character?
I mean, I have so many more things I need to know from Jay about shit, but yeah.
We'll get to it.
We will. I have a character in a game I'm playing right now that I've multi-classed from Hexblade into a Paladin. And the reason that I did that was because the way I wrote the character, he was murdered, and then he got the option to not die because a sword came to him in his last moments and offered him power and a chance to live again. He's like, Yes, please, I do not wish to die, without asking who was giving it to him. And spoilers, it was Vecna.
It's how it is
And
sometimes.
yeah, no, it was made by accident. And then after figuring that out, he's trying like, nope, don't want that. Don't want nothing to do with that. That's bad. And another character in that game is a cleric of the Raven Queen, who is also all about like the positive end of death and such. So he ends up getting more into seeing what that's about. And then as a way of getting away from having that kind of fucked up patron, starts working for the Raven Queen instead. And that's just how I came about doing it. So now he is a Hexblade Oath of Vengeance warlock. And
Nice.
I didn't mean to do the thing I did where I made him be able to smite like a damn truck, but wow.
I mean, that's a pretty good, like, it's not the most obvious combination for a Warlock, but they're both charisma characters, so
Mhm.
Yeah,
synergy.
It synergizes quite well.
it does actually.
Yes. Now
Looking
it's your
forward to
turn.
it biting him in the ass later, though, because you don't just say no to your patron.
Yeah.
As you well know, considering Strahd game.
I'm also multi-classing in that game. It's my first multi-class.
Oh, neat.
Neat. Meanwhile, I've only multi-classed once. It was in a very short-lived game. I was playing a rogue, and she was sort of having this crisis of faith in like who she was. And I multi-classed her into a trickster cleric. So I got all kinds of cool little sneaky things to add to my rogue, which was fun. But I had rolled kind of shitty, so
What's the rolls?
Aw.
Yeah.
it was rough. All she had was some decks, so but I'm going to do something like that. It has to be narratively, like it needs to make narrative sense. Like I'm not gonna just pick random classes and throw them together and see what happens.
Jay.
I usually have a reason, like maybe they're losing, maybe they're losing something or gaining something or looking for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the narrative implications of multi-classing. I think it makes for very, like, potentially juicy plot points for characters to sort of be switching careers halfway through
Mm-hmm.
or branching out from what they were doing already.
Yeah.
So now when multi-classing, you do usually give up some things. Like you usually give up a capstone ability in order to take a few levels in a different class, or you delay some really cool things, make out some power-ups, like miss out on a couple power-ups. Does this generally even out as you multi-class?
No.
I really think, I mean, I agree. I mean, I really think that it depends on like
Yeah.
what you're combining.
Unless you optimize it very well, where your
Mm.
complementary abilities, it's going to be a train wreck.
Mhm.
It's going to be very hard, very difficult. I mean, 5e, it's like a whole thing. It makes it streamlined, but it also makes it you're kind of like in a kind of fucked up box.
Yeah.
Once you commit to something, it's kind of set in stone. So
Mhm.
I'd pick out if you don't want to have the headache later on. I'd really plan out what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Because I've kind of in my head done that with the warlock I'm playing, as far as how far into, how much further, if at all, he wants to go into warlock,
Yeah.
just to figure out what I would need out of it or what I would want out of it. Which I will say, for anyone looking to multi-class for the first time, warlocks are easy. It's so little to keep track of.
Mhm.
Fighters are easy. Mm-hmm.
Well, I
The
mean,
fighter is
fighter
also
is
easy.
like, Fighter is you can make anything a fighter. You're just like, okay, fine. You can use plate armor now. Go get him, Chief.
Boom. There you go. Barbarian, you rage hard.
Yeah.
Okay, rage even harder. You're the Hulk now. Let's go.
Congratulations.
But I do say Warlock is good. I really wish there was more stuff. Just like boon wise. But yeah, no, it's good. I've played a Warlock. It's very cool. It's just I don't know, man. Eldritch Blast, man.
The best cantrip.
It's really overpowered.
It is.
It
is
is
the greatest combat cantrip. I'm sorry, prove me wrong.
It's a one-handed fucking heavy crossbow.
It is. It really is. I think the biggest issue for multiclassing is if you combine spellcasters, especially if you combine spellcasters with different spellcasting abilities.
Oh my god! Yes!
That's a nightmare show.
I did that.
It does get hard to keep track of stuff with that. That's why I'm saying Warlock is good, because you just pick another charisma-based thing and cast everything at whatever the maximum level is a couple times a day, and then hope it's dead after that.
Usually is. Wait, so Jay, expand on that. What character did you make that had different spellcasting abilities?
Oh, I made a sorcerer wizard.
Oh my god!
I thought it would be super cool. I'm oh yeah, this inherent magic guy, but he wants to know more magic things. So let's make him a wizard, man. And yeah, but then I completely forgot that the spells. I'm thinking it was the same thing, like how the spells work are the same, like spell slots. I'm like, oh yeah, I could just energize it, This was Jay trying to get into D&D, not really thinking about spell casting. So I'm like, yeah, I'm shooting the fireballs, and I'm doing the thingamajig, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you can't use your charisma modifier for that spell, that wizard spell. And I was like, oh really? But my wisdom is, my intelligence is shit. I can barely read.
The world's famous wizard.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, he died very, very quickly, very painfully.
Rip.
No regrets whatsoever.
You seldom have those. That's another thing that's intriguing about you.
You can't regret when you're playing D&D, okay? You take the punches and you move on.
If you dwell too much on that natural one, you're just gonna spiral into depression.
Yeah,
that's true.
Especially if you keep getting those natural ones. That's the universe telling you, try
Get your dice.
Fucking dweeb,
Fucking dweeb.
Fucking dweeb. Try harder.
Yeah, that's definitely what that means. Anyway, so what advice would you guys give to players who are considering multi-classing for the first time?
Good luck. No,
that's really not advice. That's more of a sentiment.
It's kind of it kind of is advice, because good luck with doing it, because there are a lot of things that have to go right depending on what it is. Like narratively, it's got to be something that makes sense. Narratively, it's got to be something that will drive your character forward, as opposed to pushing them backwards or sending them in a direction they actually want. Something going in an unexpected direction is fine, but something going in a completely unwanted direction that you then regret is not. So basically that's just whatever it is you're doing. Buyer's remorse in D&D is a real thing. So
I say, you finish.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying, think out whatever it is, and just what is the thing that makes the most sense for your character. If it works for them, makes sense, then good luck. Have fun with it. But otherwise, don't be Jay. Just don't be.
No,
Jay's
I would argue
wizard.
BJ.
Don't be Jay's sorcerer.
I was
wizard.
actually gonna
be everything
say,
else.
My advice is to be Jay about it. Recognize that it's not necessarily going to be an optimal character, but remember that D&D, you don't win D&D.
Yeah.
Because unless you really luck into some great stats and you have that perfect meshing multi-class, like using a warlock and a charisma caster of any kind, Be
They are the
prepared for
chocolate
it.
and peanut butter of D&D.
That's true. Be prepared for it not to be optimal, but enjoy it anyway. Like, remember that it's not necessarily going to go great, but it'll still be fun, and embrace how fucked up it's about to get.
Yeah, understand. Like high statted individuals can still roll for shit.
Yeah.
Also, remember that.
Exactly, man. Okay, you've seen Dobby. I got a high number in Dex, but I roll for shit every time. Okay. But yeah, no, play a lot of one shots. I recommend that. It allows you to experiment without the consequences, the long term con.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
most
really
likely
good
you
advice.
can like most one shots, they'll be out very high cap level depending on what's going on. So you can actually really see like what's the possibility for end game type situations with your character. And some of those, man, are very cool, even though they're kind of bonkers, man. Um, and then also if you get a chance, man, also with the one shots, like if you don't have a clear, concise character, you can't really kind of get into that mindset of creating a kind of just bonkers character. If you can't get into the J mindset, base characters off of other characters.
Yes.
I made a motherfucking Batman character. It was the most fun I ever had in my life, man. And if Serenity would just let me play a Batman character, I'm good. Okay. Okay. I just want to
Understand,
go.
folks, that Jay pitched Batman over Dobby when we were getting started, and it
Okay.
was a resounding no, sir.
No, Serenity was just like, what, like,
Yeah, wait. No, Sans,
the fuck out.
tweet at Serenity. Let
Giant be Batman. I am the Batman. Yeah, no.
This is why she said no, by the way. Like,
Exactly.
this
yeah,
is the reasons why she
Exactly.
said no.
I got into way too many shenanigans as Batman. And it was fun. But I did fall on my face, because Batman makes mistakes. So make characters that are based on other characters if you can't kind of make characters. After a certain amount of time, how many characters you make, you'll start coming up with your own concepts that seem very interesting to you. Be open to everything. Never say no. Like what my improv teacher, told me, and what Chad says, be yes and. Always be open-ended for possibility things. It might seem weird when you're looking at it, but you're gonna have fun at some point. Just stick with
I think I think those are two of the best bits of advice, honestly. Play one shots, because literally it's one night. You don't have to deal with this character later. If it sucks, throw it away. It's just a character sheet. If it's good, put it aside. Develop the character. And I am notorious for let me make a character based on somebody I love.
Yeah.
Do I love this character? I'm gonna play them in D&D.
Exactly. Live out your fantasies.
I mean, and those are some of the best multi-classes. Like, I'm gonna make this character, and to do it, I need like 3 levels in this, and 4 levels in this, and 5 levels over here.
Yeah,
It's gonna suck to keep up with, but it might be fun. And just embrace the chaos. Like, embrace the chaos in those shitty rolls.
Yeah.
It can't all be nat 20s. And honestly, a nat 1 is usually funnier.
Yeah.
I mean, it does provide comedy.
What is D&D if not comedy and tragedy and everything in between? Anyway, so kind of going off of that, can you multi-class more than 2 classes? Should you ever? Will they arrest you?
Yeah, no, I multi-class all classes. It was a possibility I was able to play a 20 level game. And I was like, oh shit, dude, I pulled a Puffin Forest, man. I love that guy. He made his character, and I did the same thing, dude. I spec'd it very differently, but it was a train wreck, dude. But it was a fun train wreck.
Sounds like most games with you, Jay. A fun train wreck.
It was a fun train wreck, dude. Funny thing is, he was the last one to survive. So you sometimes.
So it worked out.
It's the guy you least expect that wins. Okay. Oh man.
Awesome.
So, can you do it? Yes. Is it advisable on your first time out? No. Nobody's gonna come arrest you, but you might have a really bad time if you've never done it before and you're just, fucking about in a
Juggling all those things.
campaign.
Yeah. Well, I think just for the purpose of fucking around, you can definitely multi-class a character into several different classes because there's a really good example in the in one of the Acquisitions Incorporated streams, the C team specifically. Patrick Rothfuss shows up occasionally as Drebus Beestinger, who is the son of one of the characters in that show and has basically multi-classed into about everything. He's a couple levels of rogue, he's a couple levels of paladin, he's a couple levels of druid, he's a couple levels of sorcerer, wild magic sorcerer no less, for the extra chaos. And it's like the character is also on another stream, Science of the Realms, once, and they have, they put below the name the class that they are, and for his they just put all of the things, because that's literally how they had to phrase it, all of the things, because there's no other way to describe that kind of multi-class. However, narratively, it's really fun to see that kind of strange, crazy shit play out. And being in the driver's seat of that kind of chaos would also conceivably be fun, especially if it's just for I'm going to come in, fuck around, and then I'm going to leave. This actually doesn't have any sort of serious stakes. This is just to have a good time.
Jack of all trades, but not a bard.
Yeah.
I have to say though, like as someone who's multi-classing, and Chad knows that I'm taking this multi-class very seriously because we've talked about it quite a bit. It's actually really fun to see how synergistic you can get it, because I am at heart a power gamer and I am just starting to come into my own. It's a fucking power gamer. It's fun. Anyway, so with the multi-class system in 5e, do you think there's any way is there anything you want to see improved in like future iterations of D&D with the multi-class system?
I don't know if I have anything on this because I didn't prepare my research on it first.
I mean, I would say do something to make spells less confusing.
That would be one thing.
To be real honest, multi-classing spellcasters is so complicated unless you're playing something plus warlock.
And it gets just so easy.
Yeah, and you just don't have to worry about it.
Requires almost no thought. Kids, try warlock multi-classing. Try it. You'll like it. Seal of approval.
But I would say, like, do something to clean up how convoluted spellcasting is when you're multi-classing.
That would be a good note, yeah. I mean, I can't really think of much else. I mean, there's all the stuff that you get after the fact for a multi-classing that is not all of the stuff that you get for taking the class in the first place. Maybe make more sense. Like, so why don't I get to know how to do these things now? Because I am this class now, or do I not get this thing now?
For me, I'd say clean up some of these subclasses, man. Like Berserker Barbarian makes no sense, dude, and like Rogue Assassin, dude. I'm like, yo, okay, yeah, like the whole intrigue thing. You're an assassin, I get it, okay, but like, there's spells and fates out here that do the exact same thing and better, okay. Also with artificers, fix the whole tinkering thing, man. It's just 5e is amazing. It's gotten so many people into D&D, got me into D&D, tried third edition. It was bonkers. I was losing it. Okay. Fifth edition made everything so much cleaner, but they were pushing too many things out real quick and they didn't polish it up. Okay. They've done it over times, with, more and more, add-ons, but they could do better. I believe in you, Wizards.
I have heard rumors that Tasha's, the new book that's supposed to be coming out soon, is going to do some stuff with subclasses.
Yeah, Tasha's is supposed to clean a lot up and do some really cool things that I'm excited about.
Yeah, we need more subclasses, like a lot more.
That has some, from what I've heard. Also,
exactly.
The thing I'm most excited about is seeing how they're going to clean up the whole racial ability and backstory thing, because that is a whole other conversation. I am really looking forward to that.
We'll see. I'm really excited for Tasha's though. Okay,
Yeah.
so I lost my place. Okay, so as we've talked about, Warlock is the flavor that goes with everything. Are there any classes you think that just don't really benefit from multi-classing? Like they're good enough on their own that you're really not going to gain anything that will make up for what you lose?
It depends on how you want to play, because if you want to be a character who gets to smack the bejesus out of everything in front of them several times in a round, don't even look at other classes if you're playing a fighter. You just go all the way to 20, and then you get 8 attacks a fucking round, and then you can basically just walk up on a Trask and be like, give me your fucking lunch money, and it will give you its fucking lunch money. Or you will beat the holy hell out of it.
For me, there's 2 classes that will be the epitome. That they're completely functional, and sometimes like way better than multi-classing when given the opportunity. First, barbarians. Your meat shield, you just hit, boom. That's all you do. Second, the master class, which is Bard. Okay, no one can be Bard. Bard is the best class. Okay, you can jump pants off of anything. Okay, you want to fuck a tree? Fuck a motherfucking tree. Okay, I don't care, man. Okay, it's charisma. Dump everything in charisma, and you're a god.
I will say that, not to that extent, but I do agree that I think Bard might be the one class that I wouldn't add anything to.
That's pretty good.
Because it gets jack of all trades, and that kind of just makes you the ultimate skill monkey.
Yeah,
and you can do things. And of course, I am a hardcore lore bard at heart. That's my favorite.
No, man, sword bard. You got the background.
Sword bard.
Yeah, man. You say, oh yeah, I'm a sword dancer. Then you dance with a sword.
I mean, yeah. If you make a College of Swords bard, you're basically Deadpool.
Exactly.
That's true.
You're talking shit. With vicious mockery, and you're stabbing people in the face. My God, that should have been my next character. What the fuck was I doing?
I played a sword bard in a game I had with Serenity and Paige. That was very fun.
I honestly think Monk doesn't benefit a lot from multi-class. Narratively, it's very interesting, but I think on its own, it doesn't need anything. I mean, most classes are pretty good on their own. Honestly, and you sacrifice a lot by multi-classing. Sometimes you get into those higher levels, and if you're sacrificing high spells, that's where the big sacrifice comes.
Yeah,
you're gonna if you cap out your spells at like level 5 spells, you might be running into some trouble.
You are seriously
not if you're a warlock.
Shut up, warlock asshole.
Yeah, those ASIs are the gold money right there.
That too. You lose those ASIs, and that's also rough.
Unless you got good stats, but
unless you start out really well.
If the dice are kind first go, but I mean, it's like I said, it depends on how you want to play a character and what it is you're trying to do with that character. Because if you were playing a character where it does not make sense for you to know all the spells going all the way up to 9th level, and you're cool with not getting whatever capstone ability there is, then take a detour somewhere else. It's just like, how are you trying to work this thing, and what is it you're trying to do? Which, I mean, like, just for fun and to throw, people at some of their kind of content, there's a YouTube channel called Building Character, which basically a guy takes a pop culture thing and then will build he goes on these weird multi-class journeys with some characters. They're like, I see what you did there. I actually look at some of those as like an idea for jumping off of just how he would accomplish something. Like, I see what you did. I don't want to do that, but I want to do something similar to that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Does anyone have any last thoughts on multi-classing before we say goodnight?
Try it. Honestly, try it at least once. Because you're guaranteed to have some kind of shenanigans. And what is D&D if you're not going to have a shenanigan or two?
That's true. And if you're going to multi-class a spellcaster for your first time, Warlock. That is all.
Jay, king of multi-classing, any wisdom?
Yeah, that's my that's my advice. Raspberries. Everything is
Just make
everything is
faces. The
everything is
podcast listeners can't
pointless.
see.
Yeah, man. Just no, dude.
Oh man.
It's it doesn't matter. Dice gods, you're always gonna fall out of favor with the dice gods somewhere. So might as well, flick them off while you're having fun.
Yeah.
Man, you can tell we were having a very dark discussion about American politics before we started streaming. Anyway, good night, guys. Thank you for watching. Come back next week on Tuesday. We'll be doing this again. Tune in on Friday to see whether Dobby survives or not. We got our fingers crossed for him. RIP if he doesn't. I'm sure Jay's new character will make us all suffer quite a
The
bit as well.
Mandalorian, but not cool.
But not cool. You know what?
Mandalorian. That's
Mandalorian.
You know
light.
what? Just for that, I may kill the character in the Strahd game we're playing. Just so I'm all right. Now bring me the not cool
Okay,
Mandalorian.
you cannot. No.
See
no,
this character.
No, I need him. Need him for
There's in trouble as it is. So
Yeah, man.
I believe in him. I believe in his ability to get through it. Okay, anyway, good night, guys.
hi y'all.
Stay safe. Don't breathe smoke.